All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about something we've all been through, an experience that, let's be honest, really stings, but might also be a secret source of strength. We're talking about the power of being misunderstood.
I mean, really think about it. That moment where your intentions, your character, who you are at your core, was just seen completely wrong. It's this almost universal feeling, right? And man, it hits hard.
And there's a real reason that pain is so specific, so unique, and we're going to unpack that. But here's the thing. We're not just here to talk about the problem. We're going to give you a framework, a real strategy for how to handle it.
Okay, so first things first. Why does it feel so bad? Why does being misunderstood feel a million times worse than just, being told you messed up?
So here's the absolute key difference. A wrongdoing, that's about your behavior. It's a mistake, an error. But being misunderstood, that feels like an identity wound. It's not about what you did. It's the gut punch of thinking they think I am bad. One is about your actions. The other is a direct hit on who you are.
So what happens when our character takes a hit like that? Well, our reaction is pretty predictable, isn't it?
I mean, it's our first impulse, right? Of course it is. Our reputation feels like it's on the line, our name is being dragged through the mud, so what do? We jump in, ready to set the record straight, explain, clarify everything.
But let's be real for a second. How often does that actually work out? It usually just kicks off this totally frustrating, vicious cycle. First, you get misjudged. Then you rush in to explain yourself. But somehow, in all the chaos, your words get all twisted up. And the end result? The real kicker? You're just left unheard.
So if rushing in to defend ourselves is basically a trap, then what on earth is the alternative? Well, it's something powerful. And honestly, it's going to feel completely backwards at first.
This is where the idea of discerning silence comes in. Now, this isn't about just shutting up and giving up, not at all. It's a strategic move. It's a conscious choice to trust that the truth has its own timeline, and it's about taking your power back when you realize you just can't control the narrative.
And we have to be super clear on this. Discerning silence is not the same thing as just shutting down emotionally. Shutting down, that comes from fear. It's about making yourself small, invisible. But this comes from a place of strength. It's you choosing to hold back with purpose.
It's all about adopting this mindset, almost like a personal mantra, right? Help me release the need to be believed. Just think about that for a second. It's such a radical idea to just let go, to stop trying to control what other people think and just hold on tight to what you know is true. Okay, so that leads to a pretty big question, right? If you're not going to jump in and defend yourself with words, then what is your defense? This is where we start playing the long game. Because your ultimate defense, it isn't one perfect, witty comeback. It's not some perfectly worded email. Nope. It's the consistent, steady, undeniable pattern of your integrity, day in and day out, over a long period of time. Your character itself becomes the witness. So how does this actually play out? Well, it's about letting your patterns of behavior speak way louder than their one-off accusation. It's letting your integrity be more powerful than their story. And, maybe most importantly, it's about making time your ally, trusting it to reveal the truth. And to really see what this looks like, the source material gives us some really powerful case studies. Let's just take a quick look at one, the story of Mary.
So let's think about her situation. Internally, from her perspective, she was carrying this profound, world-changing purpose. This was her reality, her absolute truth.
But from the outside, the appearance, it was a full-blown public scandal. I mean, in that culture at that time, this was reputation-destroying stuff, potentially even life-threatening. So you have this massive, dangerous gap between her reality and what everyone else saw.
So, what was her strategy? Did she go on a tour to clear her name? Nope. Her strategy was quiet obedience to her purpose. She lived out that discerning silence, trusting that the truth of it all would eventually speak for itself.
And look, this is not a one-off thing. It's a pattern you see again and again with so many influential figures. You've got Joseph, right? Falsely accused, thrown in prison. David, hunted down like a criminal by the very king he served loyally. Esther, who risked literally everything by staying silent at just the right moments. The common thread here, for all of them, vindication was delayed. The truth did come out, for sure, but it took a lot longer than any of them would have wanted.
So this all brings us to the real goal here, the ultimate point of this whole framework. And here's a spoiler. It's not really about winning or being proven right.
It's about something way deeper.
This is the thing to remember. This whole strategy, it's not about winning some debate in the court of public opinion. It's about finding your own anchor when that storm of opinion is raging all around you.
And what is that anchor? It's that deep, unshakable peace. The kind that doesn't come from someone else saying, "I'm sorry," or from a public correction. No, it comes from being so secure in your own truth, in who you are, that the outside narrative just doesn't have the power to knock you over anymore.
And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. What if we've been chasing the wrong thing all along? What if the greatest power isn't actually in being understood by everyone, but in being completely at peace with yourself, especially when you're not?